Broadcasting live from the Joy 106.3 FM studios, it's the Hill Wildcats X's and O's show with host Coach Darold D Williams. Wildcats, let's flip the switch and do this. Good evening, good evening, good evening. It's the HillWildcats.com X's and O's show season finale. I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Ralph Smith and Mr. Larry Wesley, and shortly we will have Mr. Jerry Bell on with us here on the show. Guys, as we always start, Ralph, we went through the holidays. How was your holiday, sir?
My holidays were great. I spent the time with my granddaughter and my daughter up in Virginia. Had a very nice Thanksgiving, and I couldn't wait to get back to Daytona.
Definitely. Couldn't wait to get back to Daytona. Why was that, Ralph?
Well, you know, I was concerned about how things turned out at the Florida Classic. I was somewhat disappointed. Some people say, well, the outcome was expected, but that's not the outcome I expected.
Right,
I actually thought we were going to win the game. So I was concerned on, okay, where are we going, what direction are we going to go in?
Right, definitely concerned about what direction. I totally understand that. And we'll get to that more in depth. Mr. Wesley, how about you, sir?
Great holiday season. Spent it out of town in Jacksonville with some family and friends, and got a chance to look at some high school football in the greater Jacksonville area on Friday night. Got a chance to go out and watch a really good playoff game between Trinity Christian and University Christian.
Okay.
And it was an outstanding football game, went down to the wire. And then I made my way back, to Daytona I came back on Tuesday morning. I came back Monday morning.
Okay.
And got back home, everything was fine. And then we got ready to go fishing on Tuesday.
The important stuff.
Let me wave that off. We'll wave that off real quick. So you got ready to go to fishing, and it broke loose. And not your boat.
The funny part, when it broke loose, my trusted fishing partner, was following me in his truck and boat. We were headed back to Daytona, and I got a phone call, and I quickly hung up and called Ralph on the phone, and Ralph was like, "What?" And then Ralph's attention shifted to you. Why haven't I heard from Darren? I picked up and laughed. I said, okay. Then before he hung up with me, he said, there he is. He's calling me right now. So I said, oh, boy, I'm going to leave it alone.
Definitely. And we'll definitely get to that, guys. Let's go straight into our SWAC recap and final standings. Let's go straight to that SWAC standings. And we do know coming up this weekend, it will be Jackson State and Southern playing for the SWAC championship this weekend. So in the East, Jackson State 8-0 in the conference. Overall, they're 11-0. FAMU 7-1 in the conference, 9-2 overall. That's how they ended the season. Alabama State 4-4. They were 6-5 overall. And then Alabama A&M 4-4. They were 4-7 overall. And then Mississippi Valley State 2-6. They were 2-9 overall. Our Wildcats round out the East 2-6, 2-9 overall. In the West, Southern ends the season 5-3. Or I'm sorry, not end the season, but they ended the regular season 5-3, 7-4 overall. Prairie View 5-3 in the conference, 6-5 overall. Texas Southern 4-3, they're 5-5 overall. Alcorn State 4-4, they're 5-6 overall. Grambling State 2-6, 3-8 overall. Arkansas Pine Bluff, they're 1-7 and 3-8 overall. So that's how that went.
Perfect storm, Daryl. I was, I think the last we spoke before the Florida Classic, I indicated that Southern and Jackson State will be playing for the SWAC championship. Little did I know that when we ended the broadcast, that Jackson State was actually, Southern was actually behind both Texas Southern and Prairie View in terms of the tiebreakers. And so
Right.
the perfect storm happened for the Jaguars. They had both of those teams ahead of them. Prairie View loses to Alabama, Mississippi Valley, and Texas Southern blows a huge lead in Houston to Alabama A&M, which opened the door for Southern. All they had to do was win the Bayou Classic, which they did, and that catapulted the Jaguars into the championship game, a rematch of a game we saw earlier this year between the Tigers of JSU and the Southern Jaguars.
Right, definitely so. Yeah.
Guys, I'm sitting here looking at these stats. We know statistics are said to be for losers. But when I look at the East and I see Bethune-Cookman at the very bottom, I know the ball club we had this year was better than that.
Well, much better. Much better.
We know how much time we invested watching practice.
Right.
We saw talent. We're a much better ball club than a 2-6 ball club. You know, I could make a case that, we should be somewhere between 2 and 3 on this chart in the East, based on the talent that we had out there.
Right.
But we just never could put it together.
Right.
You know, the interesting thing for me, though, the team the year before had less talent, but it was more competitive, I thought. And if you look at statistics, they were. They didn't have as much talent, but more competitive.
Right.
And we were in every game. And this year, we were in games, but we just fell apart in the second half. We just completely, if we had anything that didn't go right for us, we just fell apart.
Well, we had more leaders on last year.
Yes.
We had more returning Bethune-Cookman people as opposed to this year.
Exactly. And if you look at the last game of our season, the Florida Classic, we were in that game starting the fourth quarter, 20-27. And we had the momentum.
Right. Definitely so.
Well, isn't that pretty much how the script went?
Yes,
most of the year?
for most of the
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
That's how the script
In
went.
terms of games
Yep.
that we were right there for the taking.
Yep.
And we found a way through more often than not, self-inflicted
Self-inflicted wounds.
injuries
Yep.
to turn the game from a victory to a loss.
Right.
And if you think about it, though, Larry, we had no really major injuries this year on our football team. So we didn't lose any really key players for a long.
Only the lineman Pearson.
Yeah.
Who was our best defensive lineman early on in the year. We lost him for the year. Other than that, that was pretty much the only major
Injury.
loss,
Yeah.
that we had.
Right. Our FCS computer rankings for the SWAC. And, of course, like I said earlier, we still have the SWAC championship game coming up this weekend. Jackson State finishes number 9. They were previously number 8. FAMU, number 19. They were previously 15. Southern University, 50. They were previously 58. Alabama State, 67. Previously 51. Texas Southern, 68. They were previously 68. Prairie View, 73. Previously 75. Alcorn State, 75. They were previously 78. Alabama A&M, 78. They were previously 77. Mississippi Valley State, 98. Previously 98. Grambling State, 99. They were previously 100. Arkansas Pine Bluff, 111. They were previously 123. And then our Wildcats finished 118. We were previously 118. So, there you have it, guys.
Now you look at the numbers and you think back to the beginning of the season, you think what you saw during the middle of the season, particularly, with us going to practice as much as we did, and it's indicative of the fact that when I look at where we are, to me a lot of that gets back to work ethic. Most teams work to get better. We had flashes, but we could never sustain anything.
Nope.
And a lot of that, to me, went back to the preparation, lack thereof, that we had throughout the entire year.
And lack of discipline.
Yeah.
Right, very much so. Very much.
I mean, if you, along with what all Larry said, I think the other Achilles heel was discipline. Lack of. I think that was at the end of the day, that's why we always fell apart.
And again, that gets back to leadership.
Exactly.
Do you have leaders who can rally your ball club? Jerry and likes to say that, and I do as well, that we were a front-running team. As long as things were going well,
we were great.
We're fine. But you don't play the game of football and not have adversity knock at your door at some point in time, and it's how you react to that, that determines, generally the victor in the ball game.
And how did we react? It was.
We follow the pattern
every
time
game.
you're watching the game, and you're hopeful that we don't have something negative happen. And when it does, I'm like, oh boy, here we go.
Yep.
Here we go. No more classic case than the Prairie View game. I mean, we were ranging up points like a pinball machine.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, even in the third quarter, with us having a 2-3 score lead, I'm sitting up watching the computer saying, any minute, any minute, we want to implode. And that's what it was. That one fumble set us back. From that moment on, we never recovered.
We'd like to thank those who just came on Facebook. For some reason, Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook was acting up, so it didn't start like it should have. Okay. But we're here now. And the numbers, every time I look over the number count who's tuning in is,
That's what you want to see.
Yeah. Let's just say we couldn't put them in the studio. So, after all of that, all right, and we will do a Wildcat season recap. 3 Wildcats were named to first team All-SWAC. Kamar Averett, Amari Hill Robinson, and Darnell Dees. Of course, Mr. Averett, 39 passes for 445 yards, 7 touchdowns, the third highest total in the SWAC this season. And, not to jump ahead into our show, but even the FAMU fans were commenting, man, if they would have ran more tight end seams down the field, we would have had a nightmare.
It was there. I mean, this is what. Don't get me started. It was right there. It was there for the taking. He commands two people.
Not yet. We ain't gonna get you started.
That's why I didn't say anything.
I'm just saying.
No, it's okay. We're good.
But let me say this about the All-SWAC team, okay? They left 2 players off of that, even if they're not second team, third team, that should have been on one of those teams. And that was Marcus Riley, and that was Ellerton. Those 2 kids had a remarkable year.
Well, you could make a case about the safety, Jackson.
Yes.
The kids played a big time football.
So, I'm not sure whether or not the SWAC used numbers to choose these people, but those 3 kids, there's no way they should have been left off all 3 teams.
Well, when you occupy the bottom, they don't take a good look at
you. They threw you a bone, huh?
That's right.
And that's
okay. That's good to know.
Get your
bone. The SWAC of all conferences throwing bones. Okay.
You got to take what you. I mean, you got to earn what you want. But yeah, come on, Ralph.
Look, I don't know what those folks out in Wildcat Nation think, but we should have been dominating the SWAC that we played this year. I could name several MEAC teams that come in there and dominate right down. Of course, I can't say several because they only got 6. So.
Yeah. Amari Hill Robinson, cornerback from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, tied for second in the SWAC with 4 interceptions on the year. He had a 97-yard pick against Mississippi Valley, tied for the 3rd longest return in BCU history. And we all remember that. That's what got us on the board there in Mississippi Valley. He finished with 5 pass breakups on the season. Darnell Dees, of course, our return man. He was the only player to find the end zone twice on special team returns. He ranked atop the conference with 745 return yards.
And they kicked the ball away from him most of the time.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Including a conference-long 98-yard return for a touchdown. D's averaged 26.6 yards per return. Also the best in the conference. Out of all that lump of coal, right, that we felt this 2-9 was. There's a lot of bright spots, and as you said, there was a lot of guys who weren't even mentioned as,
of course.
Of
course.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not a bottom feed team. We got the athletes.
Right. We definitely have the athletes.
We got the athletes.
We definitely have the athletes. Mr. Bell, welcome to the Hill Wildcats X's and O's show, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well, good people. How are you guys?
Good, man. Wonderful. It's good that everything is working here at the studio. Finally got Facebook to act right, and we can get you through normal means of communication. So glad to have you on the show, man.
Me too. I think you guys told me I have a face for radio because y'all never let me come on the video.
Hey, you ready to come on there, man? We're
Jerry, don't feel slighted, brother.
Hey, my mama told me I was pretty, but y'all say otherwise.
I got to talk to Miss Laverne. Welcome, Jerry, man. We're here talking about, we had 3 Wildcats named to the All-SWAC first team. As you know, Kamari Avery, Amari Hill Robinson, and Darnell Dees all placed in those rankings. Great for the Wildcats.
I think they're all well-deserved and earned. All well-deserved and well-earned. And, predictably, Ralph was going to talk about the guy who didn't make it, Marcus Riley. That's his guy. So I'm glad you agree with that.
Yes, definitely. So, let's go. I tell you what, we're going to do a quick recap of the Florida Classic because, of course, we did not get to recap the Florida Classic due to Thanksgiving. Lose that contest 41-20. Rattlers, we brought it close, which we knew we could do. We had the players to bring it close. Those guys continued to fight in front of 55,000 fans, which we thought, that those numbers were going to be down. But, of course, they were up. Thank you, fans, for attending and showing Rattler Nation what we're all about, and including Rattler Nation. Thanks, everyone, for turning out. But we got to have more. There's 2 other games that beat us out, so we gotta
get back up to that 70 mark.
Definitely.
That's where we were.
Definitely. Rattlers in the season 9-2, 7-1. As I said earlier, 2 early turnovers in that game. One was just a stare down of an interception. I mean, that guy never moved. We forced the ball in there. When that happens, it gets picked off.
Somebody just yell.
When we're driving. So
the quarterback can't be the guy that causes other teams to get motivated. And that's what happened. I think that we were moving the ball at ease against Florida A&M. Even though they, according to them, they had a special name for that defense, but our offense really didn't have any issues moving the ball against them until we turned it over 2 times in a row. So I don't know. We got it. We had the talent to play anybody in that conference. We were lacking some very important elements, and I think we've already mentioned them.
We closed that lead that FAMU had in 27-20, 14 minutes left in the game. Of course, on that touchdown, Jalen Jones to Kamari Averett. And then and I know Jerry can attest to this if you went to or watched the press conference. It was said that we covered that guy, and we're talking about the fake punt. We covered that guy all week in practice. That was covered. But when it went for real, when the lights came on, nobody within 10 yards.
And everybody in the stands were yelling, "Fake, fake."
And you had a bird's eye view, Ralph. I mean, we both, definitely.
I mean, you could literally see it.
Yeah, you could. Those women was yelling, "Fake, fake."
So, to kind of, Coach Simmons actually said that was called the punt before. But we didn't give them the look that they wanted. So what do we do when the game's on the line? You give him every look.
Good look. Because really, remember the same thing happened to us in Huntsville.
Yes.
The exact same thing. And you were yelling, "Don't take your defense out."
No. Leave the defense on the field.
Leave them in.
Leave them on.
That's right.
Put a safe fielder back there. That's it. Drop the safety back.
Exactly.
Or put,
Because everybody in the stands knew it was going to be a fake.
Yeah.
Everybody but our defensive coordinator.
And special teams guy.
Yeah. And that's what kept them in the game.
So,
go ahead, Jerry. Sorry.
No, to your point, it's like it happened in Huntsville, right? It just took away all of our momentum. That was 3 games that really killed the momentum of your team because of special teams laps. And not just this kind of special team laps where you say it's an execution problem because you missed the extra point or missed the field goal or something like that.
Right.
It happened in Huntsville. You got the momentum in Huntsville against A&M, and we give up a fake punt. You got the lead against Alabama State at home. You give up an onside kick. You got the momentum against Florida A&M, and then to Daryl's point, we were in the press conference and asked Coach Simmons about it at the time, and it's like, all week long we guard the guy. Well, it's like, why even put your team in that predicament when you just line up and say they're already on, the plus side of the field for them.
Exactly.
So you're not going to get a return on anyway.
No.
They're giving you the ball back with all the momentum. Take the ball and go down and do something with it. So, I get it. We showed up and you said you had the look that, or we told our guy to guard him in practice. Don't put your kids in that predicament, especially when special teams has already cost you twice this year. So
I'm going to stick a pin in that real quick. Ralph, you're catching a lot of flack over here from Lanita and Taji that we got to stop being surprised that women don't know the game of football. And they actually do. So, that was Ralph. His name's Ralph Smith. You can catch him sitting on the tailgate before games next year in the parking lot. Okay, we'll take the pin out and we'll go back to Florida.
And I got a white truck.
So that fake punt did it. I mean, that was the game. You got, as we know, one guy who has the initials WJ. We got out-coached at the most important time of coaching.
It just seems that when we should be thinking opposite, we're not thinking at all. That's when I say we can't see, we're too high up, we need to come down. Because everybody sees what you should be seeing, you're getting paid to see. You know, we never had our kids, and I don't blame the kids, I blame coaching.
Well, there's certain times in games where just the field position and the momentum of the game dictate watching some type of trick or chicanery involved in the game. That was a perfect situation for FAMU that won the plus side of the 50. And we gave them a look. They got what they wanted, and then they took the momentum back in the game. But you have to be ready for that, knowing that you fought to get back in the game, and now you're slowing them down. You know, they didn't do it from their side of the 50. They did it on our side.
On our side.
Right.
That was the embarrassing part.
So, hey man, these comments are going off. You guys got to hold those comments down and the jokes over there because, man, they are live, you know. It was said by one of our viewers, women know more about football than some of the coaches.
I agree. I'm with them on that one. But you know, the good thing about it, though, at the Florida Classic, Bethune-Cookman folks showed up, and all I heard that entire week on Facebook that Bethune's not buying tickets and yada 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 yada. But when Bethune got to back they folks, they're gonna back them, and they showed up. So there we go. Now we got to do something. We got to do something great.
Great turnout, no doubt about it.
It's a great turnout.
So
you talk about women knowing the game. Think about it, guys. We all had mothers. Weren't they detailed?
Pretty much.
Oh, they knew what was going on most of the time. Okay, it was Dad who didn't know what was happening.
Because when he got home, if he was a coach, he got critiqued like there was no other, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So. Yeah. But we had so many opportunities to have a good season, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
It just didn't happen. It's, you know, it seems that the football guards was against us. But we're going to get better.
Jalen Jones finished the Florida Classic 19-33, 172 yards, also rushed for 61 yards. 58 of those came late in the game to set up our last touchdown. Mr. Bird had 9 carries for 39 yards. On the day, Marcus Riley had 6 catches for 46 yards. Kamari Avery, 4 catches for 46 yards in that effort. Team stats. FAMU, 282 total yards. Wildcats, 284. Passing yards, FAMU, 252. Bethune-Cookman, 177. Rushing yards, FAMU, 30. Bethune-Cookman, 107.
That blows me away because I really thought that they would dominate the game.
Right. Definitely so.
They never would let him take off, though.
No. Penalty yards, FAMU 7 for 42, Wildcats 10 for 87. First downs, FAMU 17, Bethune-Cookman 21. Third downs, FAMU was 4 for 9, Bethune-Cookman 7 for 14. On fourth downs, both teams were 1-1 in time of possession for the Rattlers. 24 minutes, 55 seconds. And for your Wildcats, 35 minutes, 5 seconds.
Yeah. Can I say this real quickly, fellas? And this is less about our team and more about FAMU.
Yes, sir. Of course.
They complained about not making it to the playoffs. Man, they better think somebody up on the highest of 7 hills that they didn't make it. They were not a playoff team. And they were going to get blasted.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Jerry, that's an excellent point. And I kept saying all along, when I got ready to watch the selection show, and I'd read a lot of the posts going in from the national media about who those teams selected were going to be. And a lot of people, thought that FAMU would get in. And I said, this FAMU football team, they have the 9-2 record, but they weren't that good.
They weren't that good.
I mean, they won the week before off of a block field goal.
Yeah, they just were not as good. They played down, nowhere near the ball club last year.
No.
Nowhere near the ball club last year.
No.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Jerry,
Yeah.
I was so happy they were home for the holidays, not because I'm hating on them.
Then we got blasted.
We did not need that show to go on.
Exactly.
On TV. We did not
Like
need it.
last year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like last year, what happened last year to them. But
Yeah.
they still think they should have been there. But I think it was the best decision for them.
No question.
Guys, let's.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that's over.
Yeah, we don't want the A&M people to think that we're hating on them. We're just trying to help them out. Because, I mean, if you look at all the teams they beat, I mean, everybody had a losing record. Everybody they beat had a losing record.
And it's how they played.
Yeah,
They
wasn't that
down-
explosive.
They played down to the competition.
Exactly.
And I personally thought this roster this year, particularly with Jeremy Musa as a quarterback, was a much better roster than last year.
I mean, we going into that game thinking we got to hold them. We got to hold them at least 70.
Oh yeah, I mean literally.
Yeah, they wasn't that explosive though.
Yeah.
And they said, not to cut you off, Jerry. They said before the Classic they were going to make an impression to show
The voters and
show
all
voters
that. Yeah,
they need to be in. That wasn't a great impression.
not at all. I mean, 27-20.
Going into the fourth.
Well, we tried to help them, but it wasn't enough. So,
Guys, it's about that time. And we're talking about our 2022 BCU Gridiron season recap. We've already covered one game, of course. Of course, our Wildcats finished 2-9 on the season. Percentage, we were .182, which is 1 point below Mississippi Valley State. So we finished last. In the conference, we finished 2-6, which gives you a .250. Our losing streak, 4. We're 1-3 at home and 1-5 away. Neutral site, we were 0-1. September 3rd, 2022, we go down to Coral Gables, play the University of Miami in the contest. Of course, we lose that game 70-13. Anything, I mean, coming out of that game, I need to know how you guys felt coming out of that game.
You know, actually, for me,
Yes.
I like the way our offense moved the ball. I like that offense. I said the teams in the SWAC going to have a hard time stopping us because that's what I thought.
And I'm only laughing because Willie Jackson, man, if he was doing stand-up comedy tonight,
Tell Willie
sold
to
out.
hold, tell Willie to hold his
Yeah,
horses.
hold on, Willie.
Hold your horses, Willie.
yeah.
But going into that game, we already knew that our defense was going to have a problem against anybody they played.
Larry?
I watched the game and was encouraged by us moving the football. What I did not like was something I did not like the whole year, and that was our quarterback play. I just saw a football team, particularly at that position, that did not secure the football. And that should be the number one priority.
Definitely.
For the scoring
Definitely.
the football team would have with their quarterback, particularly a senior type quarterback. You don't want to turn that ball over. But we showed a propensity to do that in that game, and that's why the scores bloomed.
Yeah, exactly.
But they wouldn't have gotten 70 points on us without us turning the football over the way we did.
And you know what? And that was a theme for us the entire year.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. That's what I look back on and I said, wow, when did I last see that show? I saw it from the very first game of the year.
But, you know, and to add on that, in the last 15 years, I've never seen a Bethune-Cookman team turn the ball over at the rate we turned it over this year.
Yeah, consistently. Simple turnovers.
Jerry?
Yeah. I mean, listen, the Miami game was just basically a synopsis of the entire season.
It was.
We couldn't stop anybody on defense, like the entire season. And offensively, we would have success at time moving the ball between the 20s, but ultimately you got to score points to win. And so we had a hard time getting the ball in the end zone. We were our own worst nightmare. And really, you can kind of repeat that same, refrain for every game that we played for the rest of the season. We couldn't stop people. We couldn't stop people on defense, and offensively, we found a way to lose a game. And so, essentially, we're saying, we gave up 70 points against Miami. We just described what happened against Florida A&M. Everything that we're talking about sounds like the type of thing that happens when your coach gets fired. And so that's exactly what happens. And so the whole season was, basically par for the course of these are the kind of things you do if you want to get fired. And ultimately, it cost the head coach his job.
Moving right along. September 10th, 2022, we come back home. Weather delay. South Carolina State. I think if we're on a weather delay, your opposing team is on the same weather delay, right? But yet,
100%.
Their football team's doing everything they need to do to stay loose. They're away from their fan base, and this is nothing to knock the fans. They're away from their fan base. It was fan day over on the Bethune-Cookman side, outside of the locker room. Players talking to fans, loss of focus, and then here comes the head skipper, and myself being a coach, I'm like, okay, guys, we're going on this side of the wall to enter into the stadium, or we're going to the locker room. No.
Lack of discipline.
It's
right there.
Talking the same way.
But I remember that game. And I remember you being irate about that game, about what Bethune was doing during that break. And you said, that is not good. This season is lost. I remember you saying that.
And what happened?
And I said to you, you're jumping the gun.
Guys, we've had
33-9 was the final score, and the L was on the Bethune-Cookman side.
Yeah. We've had delays at that stadium for years.
Yeah, Thursday night game, transformer
blackout.
And I'm not trying to necessarily compare coaches, but I don't recall Bethune-Cookman in those weather delays ever being out and about like that.
They were
in a room and they were
laissez-faire. Right? They just walking around like it was state fair at night.
Yeah, like I said, that's the kind of stuff that get coaches fired. Let's talk about the kind of stuff that get coaches fired in the third grade game. Come on.
All right. So then we stay home. Hugh Jackson comes in. That's a 2 p.m. kickoff here in Daytona. New head coach there. Those guys had the G's taken off the side of their helmet.
Something that had never been
right.
Before.
Until they,
earned it.
Final score of that game is on the plus side for the Wildcats. Final score 36-19. But how many drop balls were there for the G-men in that game?
We didn't play that well in that game. They just did play. They played worse.
And mistakes, not just drop balls, but false starts, penalties. Grambling actually played worse than Bethune-Cookman that game,
which is unusual.
Yeah,
when we playing somebody,
they totally self-destructed.
Yep.
For them not to score all the.
But I'll take the win.
Yeah, we'll take the W. One of the two. All right.
You're going to Huntsville now, aren't you?
Yeah. Didn't take a bus up there. Left most of the faithful at home. It was myself, Ralph, you, and one of our player parents on that trip. Nice homecoming, beautiful, beautiful campus. Final score of that game.
38-17.
Alabama A&M 35.
35. Now to show you
Wildcats 27.
Now to show you that game, it was the weirdest game because it was coming near halftime. We had just scored. The score was 20-21, and we had the momentum.
I'm laughing at you, Ralph, and I'm laughing at the comments I'm telling you are hilarious.
So what we do, we line up to go for 2. And everybody's wondering, why are they going for 2? Why not just tie it up? And we failed. And from that point on, everything went downhill. Everybody lost it. The players lost confidence.
You mean the ball laying next to 2 of our players?
Yeah.
And not being recovered. The quarterback gets off the ground.
The ball is on the ground. The players look at the ball, and both of them walk away from it.
And the guy who fumbled the ball.
The quarterback gets up off the ground and goes for cover his own fumble.
35-27 loss. Moving along. Okay, we're going into, of course, it's hurricane time. The Alabama A&M game. We're on the road. Go to Tennessee State. In Tennessee, Vanderbilt allows us there. A lot of schools, and we'd like to thank those schools for what they did for our university, for our football team. Go to Tennessee. Homecoming for the Tennessee State Tigers. Final score of that game, 41-17.
They lost to a Division II team the week before.
Exactly. Yep.
That's the kind of stuff that get coaches fired. What's the next thing we can talk about to get coaches fired?
So I hear Jerry through the radio. I see Stephen Holmes over here.
Hey.
Well, not yet, guys. Not yet.
This recap is hurting me more than the season. It really is.
This was the season. Okay. We'll come back home. Get back in the state of Florida. Our team's still on the road. We practiced all week in Jacksonville. Thank you. Let me go back. Thank you to all those who donated to the football team coming up to the Tennessee State game. Everything you did. You guys, we were, truly thankful for assisting our Wildcats. Come home to Jacksonville. Another time. Thank you all so much for everyone who donated, chipped in to aid our football team, especially to the folks up in Jacksonville who rolled up their sleeves.
They were great.
Tremendously
Jacksonville people
to do everything in a matter of days, basically in a matter of hours, to do everything, washing clothes, feeding the football team, all that. 48-8 loss, which was touted as a home game for the Wildcats. And we know Jackson State, but you jumped out against them last year. Made them turn it over.
Yeah, but we had a different defensive coordinator, too. We had a different linebacker coach. We had a different offensive coordinator who we didn't think that highly of.
But you got to go hire those people who will keep you in, because they didn't change anything.
They should have never dominated us the way they did. They made us look like a high school.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that was the most disappointing loss all year, if you ask me.
That was embarrassing.
Let me back up. Not the JSU loss. I actually think the Tennessee State loss was the most embarrassing loss, just because.
Not even
I get
showing
it.
up.
That was tough because of the storm and all that. But then come back, and then Jackson State. Those guys. They didn't even show up. In fact, you kind of heard some rumblings amongst the team. It's like, oh, we got Jackson next week. It was like, this was your opportunity to kind of prove something, get some redemption, at least fight. They just didn't give themselves a fighting chance.
Nope.
That was disappointing.
Nope.
Guys, this is killing me. I'm telling you, you're taking.
We only got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah,
we won't go over FAMU. We won't go over the Classic again.
Go back.
But
I went to the Jacksonville game and had made a conscious decision to just hang out with my tailgate buddies and not go in the game. I was going.
And when I was walking in, I saw you sitting out there, and I'm like, "Oh, there's Larry."
That is because I gave tickets away to the game. So my partner say, man, why don't you come on in the game with us? Y'all not gonna believe this. I'm not a ticket master kind of guy or anything like that. Do you know what that ticket cost me to go in the game when you saw me there? I paid $132. I thought I was going to the Super Bowl.
You was in the press box, right?
I was in the mezzanine area where I had access to everything, you know. But it was $132. And I only did that so I could hang out with the guys a little bit, you know. Because I had tickets that wasn't going to go.
Willie Jackson say Jackson State ain't even have water in there. Boy, I'm telling you, he get his money worth tonight, boy. All right, let's go to Itabena, guys. Let's go to Itabena. So, Wildcats go Mississippi Valley State. That game's on HBCU Go. Our first one of the season on HBCU Go. We win that one.
But we make them look so good.
Man, you make the quarterback who didn't even finish the season look like, we
made them look so good.
Final score 45-35.
We hung on. And that's how we won. We hung on.
And then our discipline.
They get that ball back one more time.
Yeah.
That's it. Game over.
Okay. I'm not going to make Larry go through much of this anymore. But this game was a painful game.
Yeah.
You go into Prairie View.
Yes, sir.
You're beating these guys by 19 points on their homecoming.
Yeah.
They're reeling. They don't know what to do. The speaker system in the stadium is horrible.
Can't even hear it.
Can't even hear it.
Nope.
Lose that game 58-48. And we know how the last touchdown was done, but it still counted in the score column.
Yeah, I mean, the score doesn't matter. It's just the way we lost it. We sort of lost our composure. We almost, to me, we lost our will to perform.
Larry, real quick, Mr. Walker say, go get your money back. Send a bill to the school.
I felt the same way, but I said, maybe this is a contribution, more contribution to the school. We'll get a cut of that,
Dion thanks you. We lose that contest 58-48. Great trip. Had fun. Showed up. Took the flight. Played for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And then we got back on the bus.
Yeah, it was the kind of game that get coaches fired.
Not yet, Jerry. Not yet.
I'm sitting there like Jerry. I don't know if I can hold my water.
Oh, goodness.
We close enough to, hey, 9 o'clock. We're going to let you guys, the fans, you guys get to call in. I'm trying to hurry up to get to 9 o'clock.
No. I'm slowing it down. I already had one call over here already, bro. I'm trying to slow it down, man. I don't know. Hopefully Joy 106.3's switchboard can handle this. Bro.
Yeah.
Fans, if the switchboard goes out, we're going to need some donations to cover everything. But we'll try our best. All right. So homecoming. We get to come back home, homecoming. Alabama State comes in here. Their defensive coordinator, when Ryan Lewis left Daytona, he was a linebacker coach. When Ryan Lewis came back to Daytona with gold and black on, he was the defensive coordinator. Final score of that game.
We don't need to know.
Yeah, well, hold on. Not only was Ryan Lewis the linebacker coach before he left, he was also the special teams coordinator.
Yes, you're right.
Special teams coordinator. And remember, that game turned on a special teams play.
Yes.
Ryan Lewis, knowing that Bethune-Cookman kickoff return team, they do this the new trend now. They don't line up 10 yards off the ball. They line up 15 yards off the ball. So when you need to change momentum, what do? You exploit their
Onside
weakness.
kick.
Same
And you
thing
go for
that
an
happened in
onside
South
kick.
Carolina State last year.
There you go. But he is the guy he's the special teams coordinator for Bethune-Cookman. He know where the weak spots are, the soft spots are. You would think that if anything, that you would shore up the area that he coached the year before. But you don't do it and absolutely kill yourself.
Because nobody's paying attention to
that's
details.
And guys, to be honest, when he left to go to Alabama State, his parting words to me were that he was leaving because the program is broke.
Mm.
I don't say
Way to go, champ.
more.
Okay. All right, I got one more, guys. Alcorn State.
That's
Oh, Lord.
No. Because in that game, it was dumber and dumber. All we got to do is fall on the ball. The game's over.
And wouldn't you know, who comments in the comment section? Mr. Ryan
Lewis. Yeah.
Hey, way to rub it in, big guy. We'll remember that 1-5.
I know, right? Yeah.
So,
Hey.
got the game won. You got the ball. Your defense is playing lights out.
Which is unusual. So we all in shock.
So,
Wait, hold on. Stop.
Okay.
Context. Our defense is playing lights out because they're playing with a quarterback who can't complete a pass. And they take him out and replace him with a wide receiver. So they got a wide receiver
Don't get technical.
playing quarterback.
don't let him get technical.
And we still playing with two high safeties when we know all they want. They got the best running back in the conference. We playing with two high safeties, and they're playing with a third-string quarterback who's a wide receiver. He still had his gloves on. That's the kind of crap that gets
Throwing
you
the ball
fired.
straight up in the air.
Y'all tell me for a second. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. Did Jerry Bell just sound like a college professor?
He did.
When he broke that subject down. I mean, he went right through that lecture.
Yes, sir.
Jerry, you say you
listen,
should have had it.
but-
Jerry,
from a-
you say
so
you
just
should
think
have had
about
his
this from
gloves
Coach's
on.
standpoint.
Jerry, say
There'll be a test at
Think about
9:50.
trends, right? Here we go, right? So let's just think about good coaching. What do we know? All of us. You don't even have to be an astute observer of the game. We know that anytime Jalen Jones, our quarterback, feel pressure, he always flush to his right. Always. He never steps up in the pocket. He never goes left. He always flush right. What does Alcorn do? They know that. So in the second half, they just stick a safety or an outside backer out to our right. And anytime there's pressure, they already have someone there that's going to, as soon as Jalen flush, he comes up, forces Jalen to the right, get air pass, or what have you. That's good coaching. That's adjustment. On the opposite side, again, I just explained, a third-string quarterback who's a wide receiver with gloves on can't complete a pass, and we still play with a light box. We still playing with two high safeties because we will not adjust. That kind of stuff, that has nothing to do with the hurricane. That has nothing to do with the place. That has nothing to do with anything except you are. Okay, I'm done.
Thank you.
That's what get coaches fired, Jerry.
Jerry, just open the doors to the church. Okay. Final score of that game, 17-14 Wildcats lose and 41-21 for the Classic,
And we're the joke of the SWAC. Because everybody knew that. Everybody that was looking at that game knew what Jerry just said. Everybody but us.
Our Wildcats finished 2-9 in the overall, 2-6 in the conference. Points per game, 23.55 points per game for a total of 259 points on the season. First downs, rushing 81, passing 103. We had 21 first down penalties for a total of 205 first downs. Rushing On the season, 1,588 yards on the season.
Look here, well, you and I got
The majority for the quarterback.
same doctor. But I feel like I'm going through surgery without anesthesia. This is like surgery without anesthesia. You hear me?
I hear you.
Passing
I hear you.
attempts, 364 attempts, 206 completions, 13 interceptions, for a total of 2,437 yards. Total plays of offense on the season, 714. Touchdowns, 34. Total yards on the season, 4,025 yards on the season. We averaged 83.82 penalties a game. We had 103 penalties on the season for 922 yards. Almost 100 yards per game. Time of possession per game, 29 minutes, 27 seconds. And that's that. I won't go no further. I need to keep my man, Mr. Wesley, alive.
I'm just thinking about all of these different analogies. You know, if this program was close to a Lamborghini.
Pretty much.
Ralph, they say you look like you need a drink, bro. And we need a defibrillator for Larry.
They read this picture, aren't they?
This program was a Lamborghini, and right now we look like a Fred Flintstone mobile. You hear me?
That's true. Though.
I'm serious.
That's true.
Jerry.
Yeah. You know what's really, really frustrating about this? And look, I'll say this. Let me say this. You know, Terry Sims was a faithful servant to Bethune-Cookman. I'll give him that much. He dealt with a whole lot. He did a lot of good things behind the scene. And, you know, coaching football is about more than X's and O's. It really is. And even though we, as fans, we care about wins and losses, there is a lot more that go into it than just that. You are dealing with, you know, other people's kids and trying to run a program, and you got coaches that you're responsible for. There's a lot that go into it. And I'll say, as it relates to those other things, Terry Sims did an amazing job of just kind of keeping things. He dealt with some unfortunate circumstances. So I applaud Coach Sims for that. This is not about kicking Coach Sims when he's down and when he's out. You know, we've been saying these things all year for the last several years. You know, with that being said, you know, one of the things that's most frustrating about all of this, to Larry's point, is that we were a Lamborghini. We decided to have these 2-9 seasons our first 2 years in the SWAC. That bothers me, man. Like, those teams are not demonstratively better than we are. They are not. You know, and it's like, in fact, I think we're better than most of those teams on paper. And, you know, in normal years, FAMU went over there. That's not the best version of FAMU we've seen.
No.
And they're winning games in the SWAC. They're 9-2, won 9 games 2 years in a row. And we are the exact opposite. You know, 2-9. And so just going over there and having to listen to all the SWAC folks, you know, kind of talk about Bethune-Cookman football like it's a doormat and that sort of thing, that is the most frustrating part of all of this, because we know this is not who we are as a program. We know that, you know, we expect more, we produce more, and to just kind of, you know, be new friends, and then, you know, hanging out with the Mississippi Valleys of the world, that's just a problem for me. And so, you know, thank God it's a new day. We're turning the leaf. We thank God. We, you know, congratulate Coach Sims on all that he did accomplish, and now we turn the page and we look towards the future and look to tune up this high-powered vehicle with Bethune-Cookman football.
Definitely. And a big thanks, I know, from us, and I'll let these guys also give their thanks, Coach Sims, for the access and all that you did for Bethune-Cookman, especially for us, for the Hill Wildcats X's and O's show, giving us the access, the talks that we had, you know, everything. We're truly appreciative of everything you've done and continue to do. and we wish you all the success to you and your family. Keep your head up, keep on going, and we'll hopefully face you at some point in time on the other sideline. So,
no one glorifies and seeing someone lose their job, and know Terry personally, and much of what Jerry just said was so on point, because he handled a lot of things. It wasn't those things that that I think made us 2-9. I think it was the attention to detail with the football side of the operation on the field that got us in this trouble. But kudos to him. Took the program over at a time when we needed someone, and did a great job with it. Unfortunately, in the last few years, things happen that get coaches fired.
Right.
And Jerry sort of laid that out.
Ralph is good. He just, yeah.
I don't think there's anything in addition I can add to what Jerry and Larry has already said. Again, I think that Coach Sims did do a great job, and I really appreciate knowing him and getting the opportunity to talk to him on a daily basis. And I'm wishing he and his family have a Merry Christmas, and I'm thinking he's going to land on his feet and he'll be okay.
Yeah.
I as well.
All right, Jerry. I mean, you've already gave us the trailer. Now it's time for the movie. So what we have up here on the screen right now, there's an article that came out, I think, what was it, late Tuesday night, with a poll attached. There's coaching candidates to replace Coach Terry Sims. And there was a poll, like I said, attached to it for all the fans to go on there, give their opinions. We've seen all kinds of things from like who made this list to it being pretty accurate to having other names put on there. So before we start this live call-in segment, give us a little insight into what you took from this article, Jerry.
So, I mean, I kind of know the guy who created the article.
Don't tell us.
So eventually, I think we tried to be as fair as possible, and starting with the bottom two, I haven't heard, directly from anyone in Ray Lewis camp or Ed Reed camp, but we continue to hear those names associated with an HBCU job, and even a Bethune. I think, Miss Times was on this radio earlier this week talking about, rumors of the administration meeting with Ray Lewis. Those are rumors to me. I can't confirm from anybody in those camps, and nobody at Bethune-Cookman is saying anything. But the other three names.
Uh-oh, we lost Jerry. So, he'll be back home with us soon. Somebody might have cut his phone line or something.
Cut him.
So,
might have been that Cruse boy.
You can go on yourself and see the article at hillwildcats.com. Go on there, check that article out. And while you're on there, vote in the poll. Yes, Ralph.
You remember earlier...
Because the floodgates are about to open.
You remember earlier Larry said that we had the same physician?
Yes.
Okay, we're talking about heart physicians. Okay? I am more stressed now on who they're going to select than...
Oh, for sure.
That really, because I'm not too sure of the people we got that's making the selection.
Right.
That's what scares me.
Yeah, it's a scary situation.
We got non-football players, football folks making a football decision.
Right. Definitely so.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
That scares me more than anything else.
If I can say this, and my phone died halfway through Tuesday, we'll just put it like that. And it wasn't because it wasn't charged. It was just... Were you surprised because of the move that was made by the administration?
Oh, I was shocked because I just didn't see them making that move.
Right.
Because I see them on the safety side. They're going to err on the side of caution. That's they're going to be vanilla. So now that's what makes me even more nervous. They actually made the decision. Now the big decision, because now we got to get this train back on the tracks. Got to make the right decision.
I thought if the decision was going to be made, it would have been made this week, based on the time slots that are affiliated or associated with coaching changes regarding the portal opening on the 5th of December and early signing day being the 21st of December. So I thought something, if it was going to happen, would happen during that window.
Was this move also done because of what happened at Delaware State? Did that preempt anyone?
I don't think so.
No,
Okay.
I think it would totally stand alone.
Yeah.
But here, to what Ralph just said, here's a major concern, because that article that Jared wrote. And
He's
Jerry
alive.
wrote
He's
that
back.
out.
He's alive. He's alive, guys. He's back.
Surprise.
I'm inferring. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh, you inferred. Okay.
At the top of the article, it says Jay Bell, but maybe that's
it might be somebody else, But here's the major point. Ralph talked about the stress he's feeling with the decision to be made coming forth as far as who's making that decision. Here's what we need to understand. In Jerry's article, he talked about Brian being primarily a coach that no one knew anything about.
Right.
One of the major things that made Brian successful at Bethune-Cookman was when we selected that coach, and it was Brian Jenkins, we had an infrastructure in place that had been built. Now, this is not going to be a turnkey job like it was back then.
No.
Because we don't have those people in place
That's
in the
my
athletic
point.
department.
Yep.
And the other part of it, we're now dealing with a transfer portal. Who knows what comes in that portal, good and bad? And you don't have an infrastructure to help sort through how you build your program. So let's keep that major point in mind.
See, the other thing that concerns me, though, if I understand it correctly, all the coaches were fired.
not as of yet.
So we still have assistant coaches on the staff.
From my understanding and talking to
Okay.
a very reliable source, all of those gentlemen are still on staff. There has not been a interim head coach name, which
concerns.
But it could lead to, which should concern everyone, because that means there could be a imminent hire.
Who's driving the Lamborghini? Can't be all passengers. And we got selections to make here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We don't have time. We are not in a position where we can wait.
I got to let the cats out, guys.
Let them go.
All right.
Let 'em out.
So let's lay some ground rules. And Ralph and Jerry are going to be our parliamentarian, and the professor is going to...
Jerry, we
He's going to grade each person who calls in. All right. So before I announce this call-in number, all right, a little etiquette, a little housekeeping. Please hold your calls to 2 minutes. So hopefully you got your script ready. It's a minute and 30 seconds. But keep your calls to 2 minutes, please. We want to get everyone in. And we want to be able to stay on this radio station. So let's keep that in mind. This is a gospel radio station. Thank you. Gospel radio station. So let's keep it in mind. And I don't want to see the owner's number coming up on my phone. She's a little feisty thing too. So 3-8 386. Ralph's getting his gun out right now. So
I'm the parliamentarian. That being you too, Willie Jackson.
Yeah, that's right. He's got his stopwatch ready. So 386-868-3411. And Willie Jackson, you must have that number programmed in your phone. Welcome to the Hell Wildcats X and O show.
Yes, I do.
And the clock starts now.
Well, I'm not going to be long. I'm really not. But I hope we do a good job in getting this next head coach. But I don't see it because we don't have no leadership within. You got to call it like you said. You know how I am. Right. Well, I'm going to tell the truth. You know, like your mama used to say, if the truth ain't in you, don't say it. So we just don't have the leadership to do it. And I got one question to ask you guys. Do we have a full-time athletic director?
I cannot answer that for you, but I would say it's hard to be full-time. That's just like being offensive coordinator and quarterback coach at the same time. Something's going to go lacking. So that's where that's at.
The truthful answer.
So, but basically, the only thing I want to say, whoever we get to be the head coach, and I hope is, you know, if it was up to me, I would have hired Raymond Woody yesterday and let him start working tomorrow and go ahead, because I'm prejudiced. I want a Wildcat to be a head coach. I don't want nobody else to be one. And that's just me. But what we're going to do, I can tell you now, we're setting up a Wildcat Foundation to actually help with the new practice field that we need. And that's my main concern now, because it's our wagon and we got to pull it.
Definitely so.
But whoever the head coach is, he's going to get our support. And one more thing, and I'm not going to knock Coach Sims. Everybody says he's doing a great job. Well, Coach Sims, I'm not going to say you did a great job. You were under 500. You never got to the Celebration Bowl, which I threw a party for 7 years waiting on you. And I'm still mad about that.
We got you.
Well spoken.
You guys have a nice holiday. Ralph, Larry, and Jerry, just let people know why people should get fired as a coach. Y'all have
Thank you, Willie Jackson. Have a good night, sir.
That's the cap right there. That's the captain. Willie Jackson.
386-868-3411. 386-868-3411. Fans, this is your show. Call in. But we are only taking one call at a time. One call at a time. So we're giving out prizes. That prize is you get to be on the radio show and you get your 2 minutes of fame. 386-868-3411. 386-868-3411. I mean, and we have a caller. Caller, you're on the Hell Wildcats X's and O's show. Welcome.
Greetings, Brother Williams. How you doing?
Good. You're here with Brother Bell, Brother Smith, and the Professor Wesley. How's it going, man?
How y'all doing?
Good, man.
This is Nick Rawls.
Yes, sir.
Wildcat football player from 1995 to 1999. How y'all doing?
We're doing good, sir. Doing good. What you got for us, Nick?
I enjoy your show. I don't ever really comment. I tap in and watch from time to time. I am a huge supporter of my Wildcat football team, and I agree with tons of the sentiments that were stated this evening. This whole coaching deal, I posted the comments on that. I'm a firm believer in the fact that we need to have somebody with a vested interest in our program, someone that has a plan for recruiting, fundraising, player development. I think somebody spoke about this transfer portal. If we're not strong in our foundation with the kids we're bringing in from the high school ranks, how are we going to have something in position with these kids coming from all across the country?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I'm a firm believer in looking into having somebody that has a real deal vested interest in our well-being. Raymond Woody is one of those guys. He's one of my former teammates, a guy that I looked up to that has coached across the spectrum of this country on all levels and has had success in everything that we that we need. There's a slew of other gentlemen as well. But I'm not going to be a big supporter of us trying to follow what has been going on across the spectrum of black college football, which is hiring big name guys, whether they have experience or not, just for their name. I know I ain't got a lot of time, so I'm gonna go on and bow out on that and try to have respect for that 2 minute
hold on.
deal.
Nick,
How much more time I got?
You got 2 minutes.
hold on. I want to ask you something. Let me ask you this, Nick. Let me ask you this. So this is Jerry, former classmate. What's going on, partner?
What's
And
up,
so,
Jerry? How you doing?
You have
Hey, I appreciate
I'm doing
you, brother.
well, man. Yeah, man. Appreciate you. Look, so you're a former player like Willie Jackson, but also you have a senior right now in high school who's being recruited by multiple schools. So you have a perspective right now that some of us, don't have from that perspective as a parent who has a kid that's actively being recruited to play college football. Tell us, what are some of the things that kids these days, as you have one that's in the process, what are some of the things these kids are looking for in a coach? And, by in turn, what are some of the things that Bethune-Cookman needs to consider when hiring the next guy to make sure he can bring in the kind of kids that can make this program better?
Well, I think one thing that'll never change about children is they can see the truth. They can see genuine. And I think with my child, because he is a football player, but he's a high GPA kid. So he wants to play ball, but he's also looking for somewhere that, one, feels like home, two, that, he can find out pretty quickly if he has an opportunity to go to the next level, which is beyond college. But then three, what do you have that can nurture me mentally? And I think that, a lot of kids out there nowadays, these kids, it's all about the shiny and pretty. And I think the only reason my son doesn't really operate that way is because of, of our household and the fact that, he comes from a 2-student athlete household, But the kids that I talk with on a regular basis, man, they're looking for a chance to get out of whatever they're in. They want to feel loved, meaning they need attention. We can't talk to them the way that, that any of us on this platform today used to get talked to as athletes or as kids.
Or treated.
But I mean, honestly, man, look, they just want somebody to be real with them, man. And I think you still, I think it's at its simplest. You're going to get respect if you show truth and if you're real. And because these kids will see through foolishness,
Yes.
And my son has been blessed to have some folks looking at him. He has and I think that one of the things when I watch him as he moves through this process is I listen to the questions that he asks. And I listen to his responses and also to the responses of the coaches that he speaks with. And oftentimes I find that these coaches that talk to him are shocked at the way that he does speak with them and the way he does respond to them. But again, I just want my program, whether my son is there or not, to get back to where we were.
Definitely.
I mean, we had a hell of 2+ decades of success on all levels. And I know we can get back to that. We just, we need folk at the top to kind of listen to the folk that have bled.
And not just the folks who have bled, but also, the folks who are paying the $30, the $40, the $50 to sit in the stands, who
100%
help keep
100%.
things
It
going.
was 137 for Larry.
Right.
And here's the thing, I'm one of those guys now too.
Right.
So I want to try to support my program any way I can.
Right.
So I'm one of those guys that I buy tickets now, and I've been doing that for a while. I try to support any way I can. There's a lot of people to be listened to. There's a lot of people that we got a presidential search committee, right?
Right.
We got a Hall of Fame committee, right? Who's on the football search committee?
It's a good
We
question.
got quiet.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
No, we're here. We're here.
That's a good question.
I've heard
You know,
inklings,
I
but yeah. I don't want to speculate.
Again, and I know we've got new leadership, and I know new leadership is trying to find their way as well, and all that kind of stuff. But we this is a big deal for our program right now, and I say that because we are in a climate there's so much potential. There's so much parity, and Bethune-Cookman has got talent on the books right now. And there's tons of kids out there that would just love the opportunity to come to Bethune-Cookman to play football.
Definitely.
We just got to make the right choice.
We got to make the right choice here.
We got to make the right choice.
We got to. I appreciate you, gentlemen.
Hey, thank you, Nick. Appreciate you calling in, man. Great insight, and we'll hopefully talk to you sometime soon.
Hail Wildcat.
You guys got my number, man.
Yes,
anytime.
sir.
Hey, there's another young guy. There's another young guy out there too that coached against us and whooped our behind earlier this year. He was wearing black and gold. He was defensive coordinator. That's another young name right there that we need to talk about as well.
Ryan Lewis.
Definitely.
Ryan Lewis.
Definitely so.
All right.
Thank you,
There's
sir.
There's a lot of guys out there really give a darn about our program that can really push us forward. In my opinion, we need to really be talking about those guys, not guys that don't give a darn about us, that may be here for 5 minutes and utilize this as a stepping stone.
That's right.
Yeah.
Nick, we thank you for calling in, man. We look forward to talking to you soon, brother.
Give me a call, man. Love y'all, gentlemen. Man.
Same.
I love
All right, take care, Nick.
All right.
All right.
I mean, he makes some very valid points and some points that we've been talking about earlier.
Yeah, definitely.
Because really, we can't afford to make a bad decision.
No, not at this time. This is at the tipping point, and you're
exactly. I mean,
you're on that ledge.
I mean, we can't make a bad decision. That's what got me all stressed out, because we got people who's making this decision that I'm not too comfortable with.
That
and I'll say this,
don't
man,
know about
as much
pigskin,
as we
but round ball.
we love football and we want to win. You know, we want to win games, but it's bigger than, it's more than just winning football games. There is a direct correlation. You can look at the enrollment numbers at North Carolina A&T. You can look at the enrollment numbers at any program that's been successful, whether it's App State or Alabama. When your football program wins, specifically in the South, your enrollment numbers go up because it's a marketing tool for your program. It's a way to get in front of people, and everyone wants to be associated with something exciting, something that looks like it's moving in the right direction.
Definitely.
And so, you know, it's proving. And then even I think back in 2012, you know, there was when Lynn Thompson was in charge, they did a study. Bethune-Cookman was winning football games. The enrollment numbers went up something like, it was something ridiculous, like 180% or something ridiculous. Now, that may not have all been because of football, but the athletic department sure claimed it, you know, because of the success on the field. And so, you know, yes, we want to have the right hire because we want to win games, but, you know, we can get another, you know, 1,000 students there. That's $30,000 a year per student.
Exactly.
You know, that stuff matters.
Carly on the Hell Wildcats X's and O's show. Welcome.
What's up, guys? Steve Holmes calling in to chat with you for a quick second.
Why? I thought you would have been one of the first guys to call in the way that comment section was going over there. How's it going, Steven?
It's going good, man. I'm not going to hold y'all too long. I just wanted to make a comment that I believe that Reggie Theus, we're going to learn a whole lot about his ability to be able to put back together our program. And I see a lot of comments on the board of trustees and all that, but I think when it boils down to it, we got to figure out like who Reggie Theus is. And I think this is going to be his first like real big hire. And if he can hit this out of the park, then I think I'll feel a whole lot better about the entire athletic program moving forward. And
yes,
and maybe you guys may see that differently, but you know, I think a lot is going to be riding on him in this decision right here. So let me know what y'all think.
And no, we wholeheartedly agree with you. This will cement himself as okay. He's already made one hard decision that brightened the room up. Now, can you make it glow? And that's what it comes down to, you know. That's what it comes down to, and everybody's on pins and needles watching
because we want to make sure it's the right decision.
Right. I mean, you can make the wrong decision, and people, you know, will be like, you should have kept, you know,
Sam.
yeah, you know, that no replacement.
But I think the caller make an excellent observation, though. This is his opportunity to make the right decision, and people look at him totally different. Because right now they're looking at him as a part-time.
Well, it has been said over here that this show should happen more than just football season. Yeah. Let me text the owner and we'll see. But that requires money, guys. This show is not for free. The radio station, the bills, the lights on, running the internet and things of that nature. Soon we'll put up a donation link. If you'd like to see us continue in this show, then that could be possible. And many more shows just like this one, other shows. We're very thankful for Joy 106.3 FM for all they're doing for Wildcat football throughout the community. Miss Cadet and her staff, we're truly thankful for that. 386-868.
Hey, let me say this.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Go ahead. Sorry, I messed up. I want to tell y'all this. If you guys are enjoying the show, you guys will really enjoy the trips. Listen, I'm a preacher. So when we take these trips on the bus trips, you get to have a lot of this kind of conversation and a lot more. I'll just say this much. They won't let me sit on the back of the bus because I'm a preacher. So,
Jerry, you will never be allowed to go to the ghetto.
I have to sit on the Joy 106.3 section of the bus.
Hey.
I don't know what happens in the back, but it's a whole lot of stuff. They have a whole lot of
Let me tell you how bad it is for Jerry. He can't even come to the back of the bus to use the bathroom. We don't know what he might hear through that door while he's using the bathroom. So, yeah, we have to make rest area stops. But it's a great experience. It's a great experience. Go to letsgowildcats.org or hillwildcats.com. You will not be sorry. We do a lot of things. If we don't make a trip, it's a watch party. There's cookouts for the football team. There's just all kind of stuff. You get to hang out, have Larry's famous fish and my great French fries.
Yeah, right. Larry's famous fish is the real deal.
No, I'm just glad Jerry told me there is another section of the bus that I might be able to
Larry. Hey, Jerry. That was the only reason he wouldn't travel, because we told him he had to sit at the back of the
bus. You got to have your own red cup for back there.
Yeah. Sit up there with me. Yeah.
Caller, you're on the Hell Wildcats X's and O's show. Welcome.
My brothers. What an awesome show. What an awesome show. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all make sure you tune in. Get this information out that we are out for the Wildcats at the hillwildcats.com. Jerry, you say you're a preacher, right?
Yes, sir.
Well, I know we have 2 minutes, but when the preacher says I'm going to be done in a minute, he ain't going to be done. So I'm going to
on this show, we cutting you off. Hey,
don't you cut me off.
Even in the back of the church, man, I'm running the mixer back there. We know how to press mute.
Parliamentarian, get him parliamentarian. The last time I was on the show, I was playing a song. Do you remember what that song was?
Change gonna come.
That's right. Sam Cooke, a change is going to come. We didn't know when it was going to come, but only if you stay on your knees and you pray, right, Jerry, what's going to happen? A change is going to come. Now, just sit back, ladies and gentlemen. Now that we made a change, we got to see what the change is going to be. And as you see what I'm playing right now for you, she's going to work it out. That's the only thing we can believe and we can trust, but we're going to have to continue to pray. But now that it has been done, we got a lot to work on. And we got to keep the faith and keep the car in the middle of the road. I heard the Lamborghini, who's driving it? That's a big question that we all would like to know. Because at the beginning of the season, it was not looking good. I couldn't get my season ticket. Do you know I still don't have my season ticket? But that's okay. The season's over. So the school has a lot to change before we start this new season. And the coach has got to be on board to make the demands that he needs in order for this program to be successful.
Definitely.
Totally agree.
No doubt.
Definitely.
No doubt.
Your time is running out, brother.
Wait a minute, I'm on with the
I've
real
never
Wildcat
seen this
show.
brother like
Gotta
this
get some
before.
things straight. So for the new coach, I see we got some great selections. I see Raymond Whitty and got a committee. He's got a fan club out there. I think he would be a good choice. But and then we have a familiar face who wants to come back and right the ship. But
Women?
I'm worried, Daryl, Larry, I'm worried if the infrastructure, as you all talked about earlier, is going to put up what we need to get back at the top of the SWAC conference. We are not no mediocre school. We are not no mediocre program. I don't know where or why they made the decisions to hire who all these, I'm going to say, country people that they have hired, and they're trying to change our Wildcat way. But we need people back that are for Bethune-Cookman University and making us a successful program. Not a successful program, but a program that when they see the maroon and gold on the other side, they get scared, because people feared us when they were on the other side of the field. They just did not know what the hell to do when that offensive line stood up before them. So I am waiting for this change. I am waiting for the success to return to what we once had. And I hope this new selection of a coach is going to make those demands and stand up and don't be afraid of who's on the other side that has to make those decisions. They got to make it happen.
Definitely so. They definitely have to make it happen, and I do too, man. We got to run. Thanks for calling in, bro. We'll talk to you soon.
Take it easy, brothers. Y'all take care, and Merry Christmas.
Al, you just gave them 2 minutes at the funeral. You know they come in.
That's it.
Yeah, that board's lighting up. Here we go. Calling on the Hell Wildcats X's and O's show. Welcome.
Good evening, gentlemen. This is Vernon Jackson from Palm Beach. How you all doing tonight?
Surprise.
Brother Jackson, how you doing?
Yes, sir.
It's a great day to be a Wildcat. I'm also a preacher, and I do believe in the power of prayer. And a lot of times, my heart grieves because sometimes people in authority, you have to pray for them. The Bible says, pray for those in authority that they may live a quiet and peaceful life. Everybody in authority is not trying to do the will of God. Some people have ulterior motives. Some people are evil. So you have to call a spade a spade. But we must continue to pray. I pray that the Lord bless. And the entire problem comes in when you bring division among the alumni. We're talking about football, but it's a bigger problem that we have to keep praying that God will continue to touch the hearts of those and their eyes will be open, that they will make the right decision and choices. I pray moving forward with our football program, our school, those in charge, that they strive to do the will of God, because Bethune-Cookman is a school built on the Word of God. Our founder, Dr. Mary Cott Bethune, was a woman of faith. So if we keep praying, if we keep working, some way and somehow things will work out.
Definitely, things will definitely work out, and that's what we have to hold our faith on and stand on. And prayers of the righteous availeth much. So we got to keep on praying for the right decision in all that we're doing. Right decision for the president, right decision for head coach, and that God will definitely move in all of this. So we got to remain faithful.
Wally, what did y'all do with my classmate CC?
No call, no show.
Yeah. Now, so just so everyone will know, CC tonight is accepting an award for being the Jana King regional, whatever you would call it, So
superstar.
Yeah, the Janet King Regional Superstar, and this is a big region. So tonight he was accepting that award in Jacksonville. At first we thought he was meeting with ESPN because that's what he had been said, but that man can't even get on HBCU TV Go.
We'll see him in Memphis.
Did we have many players leave as a result of Coach Sims?
When you say as a result of, there are quite a few players who are in the portal prior to what happened on Tuesday.
Okay, but things will happen. But I just,
they could always take their name out, but that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, because we had a young man here from my area. His name is Jacoby Brown. I know they brought him up for the Classic, so I've been talking to him lately and see if they offered him a scholarship. But he's a great athlete. He plays at Inlet Grove High School here in Revere Beach, Florida. And I don't know, but I do know they need to make a coaching change because I was up there on November the 16th for the basketball game, and I talked to some of the football players as alumni. They were very pleased to talk with me, and they called out one name in particular, Kenyatta McCoy, saying that was one of the issues on the coaching staff. And I'm hoping that whoever new coach they get on that at the school, they make a coaching change because Bethune-Cookman has been known for great coaches, great quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs. So we got to make a change because I was very kind of disappointed in how the season went with Jalen Jones because as a quarterback, you are everything as far as the team. And if we don't have a good quarterback, it affects the team. Deion Sanders' son, that young man, he's superb to me. And when everybody working on the same accord, that makes a difference. So let's continue to pray. I'm a season ticket holder, and hopefully this coming up season I'll do the same thing, but I know things have to change.
Definitely so. Hey, we thank you for calling in, and hopefully we can get things worked out that, that can keep the show going. But we'll see. We'll see. Thank you for calling in.
Okay, Dad. I do
yes, sir. Definitely
and,
so.
Hill Wildcats.
Hill Wildcats. Thank you, sir. When one hangs up, here we go. Caller, you're on the Hill Wildcats X's and O's show. Welcome.
Good afternoon. This is Coach Williams.
Hey, Coach, how's it going, man?
Coach, yeah.
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Good, Coach. Ralph's been waiting on you to call in.
Listening to the show, and I'm real pleased with what I hear.
We thank you for calling in, Coach, and we're glad to have you on the show, man. You coach for the Wildcats, so give us, from your perspective, and you travel with us, of course. Give us from your perspective, Coach, what we should be looking for in the next coach.
Look, I'm a season ticket holder, and I travel with the ticket with the team wherever they go. We go.
Sir. Yes, sir.
And I said, when we on the bus, I'm in the ghetto.
Talking about that ghetto.
Mr. Al won't let me sit with him either.
and I used to coach Jackson. Willie Jackson.
Okay.
He was one of my defensive backs.
Okay.
And I kind of go along with him. I don't care about Sims. Sims is one of my frat brothers, but he used up his time. I don't like the way he coaches. I sit up in the stands and look at him, how he interact with the players. He's on one side of the field, not the field, but one side of the
one end of with the team's on one end and he's on the other end.
The team is on one side and he's on the other side. I feel that he should be with the team wherever they are. I don't care how much faith he have on his system. when you got your team in the huddle, you need to be in the huddle too, so you can hear what they got to tell your guys. It may not be what you want them to be. So, I'm like Jackson. It's time for him to go. And that's all I got to say.
That's all Coach got to say.
All right.
Drop the microphone. Hey, Coach, thanks for calling in, man. We'll be talking soon, and we look forward to seeing you at the Christmas party.
I'll be there.
All right, Coach. All right. 386-868-3411. 386-868-3411. I know we had a caller who's been calling for a while trying to get in. Call back. 386-868-3411. We have not heard from Miss Emma. We have not heard from Miss Mary Graves.
All the ghetto people.
Yeah. Miss Betty Robinson.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, gosh. Caller, you're on the Hell Wildcats X's and O's show. Welcome.
Hey, what's going on, brother? How y'all doing?
Good. How's it going?
Pretty good. Listen, my name is Jody Garrison, and I played at Bethune, man, from 99 to 03 was my playing time, during the Allen Super era.
Okay.
And, listen, man, I hear everybody talking about Kevin Sumlin, and I know they had the Ed Reed deal and Ray Lewis and all, and that's all fine and dandy, man. But I do agree, Nick Rawls, I heard him speaking on here earlier, that's one of my teammates. And, I'm going to say it like this. I think we got to get somebody that believes in the legacy of Mary McLeod Bethune, that's a diehard Bethune person, that's going to come in and get alumni back in there. It's a lot of guys that I played with. We all, like Nick, of course. Nick has a son that's a senior. I got a son that's a senior. I can name you probably Tyrone Sapp, who played with me. He has a son that's a senior. Jimmy Williams, that played with us, he has a son that's a sophomore that's going to be a dynamic kid. And none of these kids are getting recruited by Bethune. Why? We got alumni with kids that got ballers out there, and we're not around, we're not, it's like we're not welcome almost. We got to get back to that. I think we got to get, like you said, we got to get somebody in there that loves the program, that wants to be there. I heard someone say, hey, bring out the Wide back, bring Shrine back. I played for Coach Wide. I love him to death. He was crazy, but, he taught us a lot of things. But he pushed us. He made us better. Raymond Woody. Love that dude to death, man. He recruited a lot of kids. I'm a 22-year football coach. Guys, recruited a lot of my kids. Coach Woody's been good. He was gone. I remember when he was coming back to Bethune when I was a young player there, coming back just to visit. Why we don't have alumni coming back? I look at what Jackson State doing with Dion. Prime bringing those guys back, getting the alumni back involved. We got to do those things. If we got guys out there that love our university and want to see it be successful.
Definitely.
I think we got to get those folks back. We got to get the alumni back. We got to get our kids back around the program. We got to start. We got to do those things. Because everybody want to ask for donations, get money. It's hard to ask when you feel like you ain't welcome there, and you played there. I gave blood, sweat, and tears for BCC, for the BCU, and then you don't feel like you welcome when you come back there.
Most definitely.
That's tough.
It's very tough.
Yeah.
I was approached at homecoming by 4 guys who recently played during the Jenkins era, and they were trying to get down on the sideline, and there was no dice on that. So.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard Nick Rawls say that earlier. I've never had a problem getting on the sideline when I came to a game. Again, I played for Coach Wide. When Coach Wide was there, even after his accident, never had a problem. When Jenkins was there, never had a problem. Right? I really didn't have a problem at the beginning with Sims because Alan Suber was the OC and he was there. And then after Suber was gone, that was it.
Yeah, definitely so.
You know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get back to that. These next few weeks are going to be so important to not just Bethune-Cookman football, but Bethune-Cookman University as a whole.
I think.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No.
I was going to say, I agree with something that you guys said earlier. I mean, right now we know early signing date's coming up. I think we lost early signing date. That's all. We know that. But we got to push because you got signing day coming up in February. I mean, so you got to be trying to make a decision. I heard, one of the callers say that, this is going to be a big deal hire, for Theus. And it is. And Nick said it earlier too. And I think it is going to be a big hire for him. But he's in basketball right now. So who's going to hire him or the deputy AD?
It's a good question.
Somebody has to be working on
focus?
It. Yeah, somebody has to be working on it.
Right. And then, if you are basketball and AD, listen, again, I've been 22 years of coaching now. I know my experience has been at the high school level, but politics is politics no matter where you go.
Right.
And I know a lot of times when I've had jobs at places and the AD's been the basketball coach or baseball coach, they're more concerned about their program. They weren't too much worried about, the football program. But like you guys said earlier, we're in the South, and football in the South drives everything. When you're winning, again, I remember when I played at Bethune, we were winning. I remember that so many kids was coming to Bethune, we had to go into hotels.
Right.
And that's what Jerry spoke of earlier, that when you have a successful football team, it drives up everything, especially enrollment.
Definitely.
But who it also drives a wedge, because who's going to have the power? Is it going to be the football team and the football coach, or is it going to be the AD?
Right.
Some people can't handle that. Is football going to be the focus and going to have all the attention, or is it going to be the AD in basketball? I mean, so this is going to be a big decision for him. The easy thing for him to do is to go hire Kevin Sumlin or Ray Lewis or Ed Reed, because those are names. But what about recruiting? What about player development? What about getting coaches in?
Right.
I mean, if those are the things what about motivating kids? I mean, my son, like Nick.
Caller, we got to run.
Nick.
We have to run, caller. We have some other callers calling in. We thank you for your time, and thank you for watching the show.
Well, man, hey, man, appreciate it. Enjoyed the show, man. Hey, I mean, I hope they make a great hire.
All right,
great.
thank you. Hail Wildcats.
Yep.
386-868-3411, 386-868-3411. I want to say one thing. I know we talk about facilities, and facilities are a big, facilities are a big thing, right? When I originally went to, and yes, I am a graduate of Florida State. When I originally went to Florida State, mesh lockers, people were getting cut on the lockers and things of that nature. And we were a dynasty at that point. There are kids who young men, I won't say kids, there's young athletes, young male and female athletes, great athletes who still want to come to Bethune-Cookman University.
That's exactly right.
And, I know one. Yes, a young man made a mistake just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Said something that, maybe shouldn't have been public. But he's a young man. We've all been there. We've done some things that we aren't proud of. Got a scholarship pull from the University of Florida. That young man had and still has a great interest in Bethune-Cookman University. 4-star quarterback.
He's a 4-star.
4-star quarterback. Right from right up the road. And that ball got dropped.
Yep.
So it's not for the lack of them wanting to be here. We had great players on. We still do. Had great players on our football team.
Yeah. So you know what you can't. Bethune-Cookman can build a facility. Now,
Yes.
it's not all about facilities, but just go with me. Bethune-Cookman can build facilities. You know what you can't build at Jackson or in Montgomery or in Houston
Atlantic Ocean.
or in Itabena? You cannot build a beach. You cannot build a beach. You can't build that anywhere else. And so there are things that Daytona, ain't nobody going to Lorman for spring break. It's just not happening. And so you have so much to leverage at Bethune-Cookman. And no, you may not say we play in our own stadium. You may not be able to get that, but who else don't play in their own stadium? Jackson State.
Yeah, right.
They don't have their own stadium, and until last year, their practice field was much worse than ours. So, a lot of this stuff that we talk about, this glitz and glamour, at the end of the day, kids want to play football, and they want quality. They want quality living, quality life, and it's still something that's pretty good about being in Central Florida.
Amen.
Jerry, to your point, I want to speak a moment about the budget. While we sit here and talk about the budget, and yes, the budget has been taken down. There was some stuff, scholarships and things of that nature pulled. But when you look at the totality of it amongst the SWAC,
we still number one.
HBCU football. We won't just say the SWAC. HBCU football.
We still got the biggest budget.
Yeah, I think Prairie View has a bigger budget than we do in the SWAC, and I think Alabama State is either close or a little bit above. But we're still in the upper echelon of budget of resources in the SWAC, and so it just is what it is. So I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, Bethune don't have the resources." Bethune had the highest budget in the MEAC for the last 10 years when we were over there. And now in the SWAC, even with cutting it, we're still way outpaced Mississippi Valley State and who we lost to last year.
And so let's take it a little bit further. Let's take it a little bit further. Where was Coach Jenkins was at the $300,000 mark before he left Daytona. Then, if you look at it, if you market things right, the school's not out of that much money when you look at paying a coach because it comes from endorsements and other things and other royalties. Like people look at, we can't do what Jackson State's doing. Deion Sanders is making, they originally said, it's $1.2 million, right? If you do that 4 years times $300,000 per year, what do you get? $1.2 million, right?
Right.
I think there was some talk this year that finally the administration was going to address our practice field.
Right.
All
Yes.
these years
Yes.
of trying to resurface that field, not knowing, knowing now that there's a pan that runs under that field from FPNL, and that's why the grass will not grow.
Right. Will not grow
So
for
now
nothing.
they're talking about committing dollars to put AstroTurf out there, which is what they should have done
10 years ago.
with all the money we spent restarting the field every year. So now hopefully with this new coach coming in, this will be the impetus to get some of these things done around the college.
And don't think for one moment that when Deion Sanders went to Jackson State, as Jerry said earlier, they had the coup d'etat.
Yeah.
It was not there. I mean, for the longest of time, his jury went missing, right? He had a vehicle that went missing.
Boombox went missing.
Not too long ago, somebody cut right outside the practice facility.
His son window
out of his truck. But when you go out and do what you need to do to fundraise, when you recruit the needed players in, you don't know where some of these players come from. Some of these players come from, and we have seen it here in Daytona.
Absolutely.
But this is one thing we have to understand, though. All of us want a winning football team, a winning atmosphere. But one of the things we have to understand, all of us that are listening tonight, we're going to have to roll up our sleeves and we're going to have to get in there and do the work ourselves. We got to help whoever comes in there to be better. we got to spend some money and we got to raise some money, because this program is not going to exist without money. So we gotta get in there and do our work too. I mean, I think it was Willie Jackson earlier said that he had a group working on raising money for the practice facility, which I think that's the type of things that we got to do.
I don't know if time will bear it out. The question was asked, do we have a full-time athletic director? We're about to find out real quickly whether you can juggle these jobs. You know, that's a $64,000 question right now. But we'll find that out very shortly.
We definitely will find that out in a short order. I mean, right now we're all watching to see what, you know.
It's a big decision.
I'm saying there was a move made on Tuesday, but since Tuesday, there's some guys who are sitting at the athletic facility who don't know what the next thing is going to be for them. I mean, they've cleaned out their desk and things of that nature, but they're still
employed by Bethune.
Right.
Yeah. And they probably will be until some, you know, if you don't make a decision on a new coach, you got to have some continuity to keep players that you have, and also, you know, you got recruiting, because you can't have everybody leave because there's something called APR out there. Right. So you got to have some continuity.
Exactly.
And so, you know, so you got to, you know, so you'll make a decision soon enough. And you're right. I think we're all kind of holding our breath. I think what we've seen, just based on the interest from some of these people that have expressed interest in the job, there are a lot of quality candidates who want this job.
Yes.
It could be a former Wildcat. It could be someone from the outside. But there are quality people who want this job.
And I think the majority of them want to be here for long term, not just, you know.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because you can't build a beach in Jackson.
Right. Right.
And it's a good
It's hard to go
live.
golfing,
Daytona,
right?
I mean, yeah.
You get NASCAR.
Central Florida's a great place to live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great place to fish. Got to bring the fish.
A great place to eat fish.
And a great place to eat fish. You can't live off catfish alone.
Guys, we come almost to the end.
I hope we get to do this some more. I really do.
Actually,
This is
I said the owner would text, and she did.
oh boy.
You're listening to the HellWildcats.com X's and O's show on Joy 106.3 FM, the only black gospel radio station in Daytona. Fans, listeners, continue to support Joy 106.3 FM. They're great in the neighborhood. They're doing great things. It came from meager beginnings, and they're here for you. Tune in, donate. Just let's keep it going. Ralph, I don't want to say closing words, but give me your summary of 2022 Maroon and Gold.
Well, on the football field, it was somewhat disappointing. I thought that we had more talent and got less value out of that talent. I think we had one serious problem, and that was we didn't have any discipline, and that's probably why once we had something that went wrong, we just fell apart because we had nobody to hold us together. So what I'm looking for is someone to come in here that knows football and can put this back together, and lead these young men, develop these young men, and also help this university get back on its feet. That's what I'm looking for.
And we, to your point, we know it happened. I mean, let's go back to 2015, so 7 years ago, right?
Okay.
We were, Bethune-Cookman football, and I know we're not just a football program, but football is big. Football is big in the South.
This is South.
In the South. You know, there are millions and millions of dollars. Let's just put it like this. There's millions and millions of dollars that just go into recruiting. We're not even talking about, like, actually going out on the field, the travel and all that. We're talking about just recruiting, the whining and dining, the bringing the whole families in.
But how many busload of people you see go to a basketball game in Jackson, Mississippi from Daytona?
Can you get 50,000 in there?
Heck no.
Okay.
I mean, football
At $30 to $50 a piece?
Football is what pays the bills. That's what pays the bills. For tennis, golf, softball, baseball, and actually basketball. Football pays all those bills.
And then you throw in at a home game, and I understand it's getting more expensive to travel for the band, but you get to see a world-renowned band for Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah, so that's
some people pay just for that. I mean,
exactly. I mean, if you watch the classic, now I don't know about our side, but if you watch the classic after halftime, that whole side cleared out. I don't know about because everybody's behind me. I don't know why we cleared out.
Oh, it was the same.
But on that side over there, when the band finished, everybody left. A third of the people left. So,
yeah.
Larry?
Well, you know, for me, this is quite naturally a very critical stage of where this college is right now, this university rather is right now. And I want to get back to the things that made us successful. Quality work ethic. I mean, really practicing the right way and doing what we need to do the right way. Bringing someone in who's going to build this program from ground up, brick by brick. It's, you know, you can buy a prefab house, or you can buy you a brick around block house that's going to stand through these storms, etc., stand the test of time. We had that, and now we're not there. We've lost our way, and so we're going to need someone to come in here with this next hire and be the kind of person who's going to look to reinstill the values of Bethune-Cookman football in terms of pride, poise, discipline. Those are things that got us where we were when we were up at the up top echelon of schools in the conference.
Let's look at it this way. I know for a long time we've talked about money games, right? Now with Neil deals and all that parity, you're taking some of these lower, we'll call them lower tier teams, guys who shouldn't even be on the field with some of these guys, and you're beating them. You're hanging it on them.
Well, Daryl, you open up a very interesting point. I don't mind you playing money games, but play the games you have a shot to win.
Right.
And that's scheduling.
Yes,
do you know
that's
how to schedule?
Scheduling.
These are the kind of things that we used to do really, really well.
Use that as a recruiting tool.
Absolutely. But when we lost our leadership in athletics, we lost that. Now, can we get it back? Yeah, we got to work it. Yeah, we can't get it back. We got to work at getting it back. And that's where having an athletic director dedicate time to doing that is so very important. While he is also coaching his sport, he's going to have to realize he's got to grow in some other areas other than just basketball to get this job done. But we can get back there. That's what made us what we were. And we won not only in football, we won in other programs. Softball, baseball. We had an athletic program that was indicative of receiving national notoriety for all of its athletic programs. We won track and didn't even have a track on campus.
Right.
You know, those kind of things.
I mean, baseball,
infrastructure.
Right.
The core that you need to sustain an athletic program. Not one program, but multiple programs. And
it comes down definitely to the athletic record. You have to be able to build a program. And it's our athletic program.
That's it.
You got to have a vision.
Right.
That's it.
And it just can't be basketball.
No.
That's it.
No.
That's it. But with football, we got to get a guy in here who wants to roll up his sleeve,
It's going to be work, whoever it is.
And
Of course.
who is going to make connections with some of these alumni that we've heard on the radio this evening, who have kids who are getting ready to come out. You got to build those relationships, and that's how you develop a cohesive recruitment program.
Right. Jerry?
2022 is over, baby. I'm happy about
I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
That's not even fair.
You know, hey, listen,
That's
man,
not even
look,
fair.
22. Look, to all the players who played in 2022, God bless you guys.
Absolutely.
You got, you guys had to go through it too. And so we get that. And so, but a new day is coming. We got new leadership coming. I'm excited about it. Here's what we do know. A change was necessary. Now let's hope that it's a change for the better. I think it will be. I think with the number of candidates out there, as long as this wasn't a predetermined decision, if we just go out and get, the person that we think is best qualified for this, I think Bethune-Cookman is going to be just fine because of the quality of individual, the quality of coach who's interested in this position. So I'm excited about the future. I think that we are closer to getting back to where we want to be than our record has indicated over the last couple of years. I do understand there are some infrastructure things that need to be in place, but, it will build towards that. I think we'll build towards that. And so I'm excited about where we're going. I'm not worried about facilities and that sort of thing. We won a whole lot of games playing in that state, in that city-owned state. So I'm just excited about getting some new blood in here, pumping some new life in here, getting more connection. I think there was a player who earlier, Ricky Jackson, talked about that, getting that connection back with the alumni base, whether it's former players or former students, people who attended Bethune-Cookman, people who love Bethune-Cookman. There has been a disconnect. And I'm excited about winning, and I'm excited about reconnecting the alumni to the school, and I'm excited about our future. So, no, I'm not going to let anybody, right now, I'm not going to let anybody take my shine away. I'm excited about this and looking forward to the future.
Definitely looking towards the future. And I echo everyone's their comments, and this was definitely a tumultuous year. Going to practice and seeing what we could have been, seeing what, some things we didn't agree with, some things we did agree with, spending, the money we spent to travel. Would I do it all over again? Are we going to continue to do it? Yes.
We're going to get Larry a seat up front with Jerry.
We will have Larry a seat.
I have found my section on the bus. I really
It's good, man.
I feel enlightened. I'm going to get blessed up there. I don't have anything against people in the back of the bus. I'll come back and look to see what's happening. I'll go to the line of demarcation, if they'll let me go back that far.
Yeah, I say if you made it to the back wheels on the bus, you went too far.
I hope I'm stopped before I get there.
Probably where the cargo bay kind of stops. That's pretty safe territory right there. Yes, sir.
We joke about that, but I've made some tremendous friends on that bus, and I've had some good times just talking to people, just laughing with people, and we have a good time.
It's truly a family, and like I said, we not only do trips together, we do watch parties and almost everything you can think of that a group can do, we do it. And everyone's invited, all the way down to, as I said earlier, Christmas party. And there's gifts and everything that are given away at the Christmas party, and just crazy fun games and things of that nature. But that's what we do at HillWildcats.com. That's all a part of the family. You get the articles, you get the radio show, you get the, natural bone excerpts from practice, and, everything that's seen. You get to hear about the fishing trips between Ralph and Larry, and, Miss Virginia Bell says she's on the bus next year. But, we as Wildcats have a rich history, behind us, and I wouldn't myself personally have it any other way. Yes, I'm a graduate of Florida State. I'm happy for my Seminoles, but I love my Wildcats. If it wasn't for the Wildcats, if it wasn't for Bethune-Cookman College University,
you wouldn't be here.
I would not be here.
We wouldn't even know you wouldn't
right.
exist.
That's exactly right. So,
Man, I'm gonna tell y'all something off here. All I heard was who will ascend to the top of the mountain. That's all I said. And then Darold was here.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, it's just I'm watching the place we will ascend to. Are we heavily involved, and are we going to be heavily involved as Hale Wildcats, as the fans and things in this next process? And, all that has come of it, as I said earlier, my phone has not stopped ringing. I've gotten calls from,
the various parties.
Yeah, various parties. Yeah. So, this to speak on the head coaching opening, this job is a well sought after job, as Jerry said. And hopefully the right decision is made on who's going to be the next person to lead these young men that we have in here, that have entered to learn, and, we want to depart to serve, and, that all begins at the top. So,
absolutely. Yep. And if there's anybody from the administration that's actually listening to this, or you got access to them, look, I know the administration right now, they're very interested in having the DSO model and want to involve alumni in decision making and fundraising. Listen, there are a lot of people who called into the show that said we want to be a part of this process. Right. So it works both ways. Let's engage both ways. Engage alumni, engage with administration engage with alumni. We don't want to feel disconnected. We want to feel a connection to the university. Again, absolutely. I think it was kind of sad that you heard that from one of the players, two of the players who called in and say, we don't feel connected anymore. Yeah. And so, and I think that's indicative of how many people feel at the university. It's how we felt with this football program. We were watching it and we loved it, but we didn't feel a close connection to it in many ways. And so what we're saying is that we want the love and the passion and the camaraderie that we share on that bus that you guys hear us talking about. We want that amongst all of Bethune-Cookman, rather it's, all of alumni, all of our sports, all of our academic programs. We want to feel we are Wildcats, and we want to feel that passion. We want to feel that closeness once again. So, if you're here, you're on the administration, people want to get involved in this process, and they want to help. They want to help raise money. They want to help be involved in the decision making. But
it comes twofold.
Do what we've been talking about.
Yes, it comes twofold. It's push pull, man. I'd like to take this time to thank Ms. Cadet, everyone here at Joy 106.3 FM for allowing us to be here on the X's and O's show. We've been here on the show. We went through 2 hurricanes, and some of the businesses were affected that are sister businesses to Joy 106.3 FM with flood and things of that nature. But we missed a week, and the radio station was back up to allow us to come on, allow us to speak to the community, to allow us to reach the fan base, and the fan base reached back out to us, and we can't do anything but thank everyone here at the radio station, Terrence, just to call a few names. And with that being said, the Hale Wildcats X's and O's show is here to stay. We are not going to leave you, fans. I know we said this is the season finale, but we're going to keep the show going. But it all depends on all of us working together. As we said for the school, we're going to keep up your voice. We're going to let your voice be heard. We're going to do everything we can to let your voice be heard and hold up the legacy that Dr. Bethune left here for us. So look on our Facebook page, look on our website, hillwildcats.com. Let's go wildcats.org for more information on when the next show will be. We're going to follow this head coaching search to the T. We will be there at the press conference. We're going to bring you everything we need to bring you live so that you will not miss out on anything. So for all of you all who have left comments, who have called in, don't stop doing it. We're going to continue on. We're going to continue rolling. I'd like to thank Jordan 106.3 for allowing us to stay on, and you will be hearing from us very soon. So we'll close out this Psych season finale show, and, from my co-host, Mr. Ralph Smith, Mr. Larry Wesley, and Mr. Jerry Bell. I'm your host, Darold Williams. Tune in very shortly for the next show, Hill Wildcats.
Hill Wildcats.
Hill Wildcats from the front of the bus.
To the very back, which is known as the ghetto. Thank everyone for tuning in. Please keep the comments and everything going. We love you. We thank you. Hill Wildcats. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bethune-Cookman University alma mater. Oh yeah. We'll do it.